Welcome to the new studio. Here we are. It is Wednesday?
Wednesday.
And I'm here with Sara Haines. Hello, Sara.
Hi, Brian.
Welcome to Teta Dome.
I know. This is so cool in here. I like it.
I like it too.
It's a vibe.
The Teta Cave, the behind the table cave. I like it. I think it's good. I have to start with a classic Sara entrance this morning because show's counting down. Everyone's saying, "Where's Sara? Where's Sara?" You walk in, tears streaming from your face in classic Sara Haines emotional upheaval, and we're immediately worried. Did something happen? Did you fall and skin your knee? What exactly happened? And then, of course, tell us what happened. You were just talking to a guest, and
I was speaking to the woman who did the documentary Sky King that was on the show today, Patricia Gillespie.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect to cry that much to her face. I didn't see that coming, but I wanted to meet her in advance because the documentary was so phenomenal, Brian.
It was really good.
From start to finish, she nailed it. And the heart and the humanity and her ability to tell this story, I was so moved. And then when I met her, I was asking how she came to the story. And she was saying, I come from a blue-collar family. I'd heard about the story, and I recognized the people as people I was around, people I'd grown up with, my family. And I just was so moved by what drew her to the project, the excellence of this documentary. I don't even have words.
So what brings you to tears? Is it the idea of excellence? Is it the idea of achievement? Is it just,
So it's layered on this one. I watched the whole story, and I was, I don't want to do any spoilers because I know it was a big news story, but not everyone
No, I didn't know about it until I watched the documentary.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And Alyssa was like, I don't have any idea. I didn't have any idea about the story. I'm like, okay, good. So it wasn't just me. I was so moved by how when I entered the documentary, I had an opinion, within the first 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The end, I was in a totally different place. And when you kind of end a documentary, that's the point.
Right.
The point was to take you somewhere. The director so beautifully choreographed this that I followed every deliberate action she took in this documentary. And I had so much emotion and love for the family involved in this, but also the man, Bebo, the main character. And in my head, I feel like I'm going to be spoiling this. There's a moment where, and this is one thing I said to her, which got her emotional, is I didn't know how it was going to end because I didn't know the story.
Right.
And I thought, wherever this man is today, assuming everything turns out all right, I knew he would have had to be in prison because of what he did. And I thought, this might be my first letter to a jail or a prison. I wanted to write to him. I was so moved by the struggle he had, everything about him, that I thought I just wanted him to know, oh my God, how seen he was. No, Brian, the goal is not to make me cry, but, and then the way it ends, it broke my heart because he'd never know all the people that saw him, and the beautiful way in which she pumped the humanity in a way that the narratives that were surrounding this documentary were so negative on the right and the left. And it was almost like a caricature of who he was. And the family was retreating from media and that's the most understandable reaction ever because everyone was getting it wrong. This woman stepped into their lives and added all the beauty that they deserved. Oh my God. I can't even.
All right. Well, a couple of things here. So first of all, I love that heart on your sleeve isn't even the word for it. It's like your heart is far away from your body. It's all
like
the way out
existing
there.
In another place.
And I really do appreciate that you bring that to the show every day, and that you
I
feel
know it's
things.
a lot, and I've
It's a
been
lot.
told that by my own husband, but I think it's funny because Alec is the same way as I am.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to me sometimes, Mama, I wish I didn't feel so much. And whereas I never really was able to tell myself this, I look at him and I say, baby, that's a gift, because sometimes it hurts. Other times it's amazing. So it's going to be both things for you. And this is actually, although it's tears, a lot of it is the beauty. It's seeing the hardship of life, the struggle of so many regular people, how it can be misinterpreted, the narrative, the fact that it was one of these people, a blue-collar person that saw them and took her craft and her abilities and blew light into this story in the most beautiful way.
I agree with everything you're saying. I But I love that you're not jaded, that you can still allow yourself to be moved by things, by art and by stories and by people. It's a really good thing because in my regular life, I'm very emotional actually, and to a fault. But when I get into TV mode, I get kind of jaded to things. So it's
you know
good,
what, Brian? So do I. That's what speaks to the excellence of this project is I even said to her, we consume so much. It is our job.
Right.
This was such a gift that I said, seeing her work and meeting her is what I always answer when people say, what's the best part of your job? We say, we're storytellers, but really the storytellers sit in the seat and we interview them. She did the work. This was 5 years of her hearing something that interested her, pursuing the family to be that trusted voice that held the memory of this family member. And she ran with it and she nailed it. And I think all of those branches of this story are what moved me to tears.
Have you always your whole life been as emotional? Like, was teenage Sarah breaking down in biology? Like, what was
when I had my high school sweetheart, I do remember one day having to leave school with my older sister because I was breaking down over a breakup.
Yeah, sure.
But other than that, I think I've always had a deep empathy. And I think that's why a good book, a documentary, fiction, otherwise, art moves me.
Right.
And it's
well, you seek it out. That's the difference between you and me because I get like that too. Like a show will stay with me or a movie, and I tend to avoid the ones that I think are going to do that to me.
Well, the thing is, I always say that, I remember The Keepers, which was the movie about the Catholic school where the teacher was gone. And I was so passionate about it. And it's an important point to show that was about young girls, teenage girls being abused. So there's nothing about that you run towards. But I always say when someone's able to tell a story and all you have to do is watch it and not experience it and be one of the victims of these stories or the family member who lost their loved one, you better sit and keep your eyes open because it's through these stories so much of life is learned.
Have you seen Ragtime on Broadway?
No.
It's phenomenal and so impactful and powerful. And I loved it and it stayed with me and it made me very emotional. And I never want to see it again.
Well,
and my wife wants to go 4 more times.
So I don't think you have to dip back in. Mm-hmm. Like one of the only times I dipped into a tragic story was Titanic when I saw it 3 times in the theater. But I also had a crush on Leonardo DiCaprio. It was a different time.
Yes.
But mostly when art touches me, I don't think you have to go back. The ripple is to take it forward, to pass it on, to tell someone else to go see it.
All right, I'm going to change gears here to get you.
Please, God, do it.
But I also would like, now that we have the new studio, I want to get one of those this many days since the
last tier. Oh my God.
So I want to have a little calendar up here. We can pull down this many days since Sarah's cried on a podcast.
You know what the worst thing to do as you're having a very emotive life moment is to look at your little twinkle in your eye as I'm watching you, as I know you're trying to listen as my friend, my producer, but you're also so entertained by the fact that, yes, tears are falling.
I'm not entertained, but fascinated. But it's really just like,
that's
wow.
Fair.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
She's doing it. She's doing it.
Nailed it. She's crying again. Way to go.
She's crying on the podcast.
That's how you get a Webby, people. Yeah. Right there.
And it wasn't even my episode.
Wasn't even your episode. No, as Joy will tell you daily. All right. So in the meantime, we had a conversation this morning that I wanted to follow back on. You and I both enjoy our AI. We're not alone there. But I found a fun AI prompt, which is if you speak to your AI a lot or type in a lot, you can ask it what characters the AI finds you similar to based on the conversation. You gave me the prompts. The prompt I gave was, based on our conversations, what fictional characters would you say that my conversational style evokes?
Yes.
And then you were very excited to share with me. I've not heard what these are yet.
Well, because you'll be able to tell why I'm so excited. Okay, wait 1 second. So, the first one, Dana Scully from The X-Files.
Oh, that's a good one.
Evidence-seeking instinct, willingness to question narratives, and calm, rational tone, even when the topic is charged. Love that.
Yeah.
Second, Joe March, Little Women.
Oh, that's a big one for you.
Voice-driven thinking. You care how something sounds and lands. Desire to communicate ideas clearly but with personality. A blend of warmth and conviction. Here's the zinger. Leslie Knope.
Oh.
Parks and Rec.
Wow, way to go.
I literally was like tears down my face, so moved by this.
Yeah.
You want ideas to connect with real people. You balance seriousness with approachability, and there's an undercurrent of optimism, even in heavier topics.
I think that's both aspirational and accurate.
Wait, honorable mention? Hermione Granger.
Oh.
I want to understand this properly mindset, your tendency to follow threads until they make sense, asking layered follow-ups rather than settling for surface answers.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. All right.
So I think I just won. I'm going to drop my mic right here.
Here's what I got. I
Okay.
got, first of all, my first one, which is my favorite, President Josiah Bartlett from The West Wing, my favorite show.
Oh, my gosh.
I was so happy to read that.
Brian,
yep.
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Rapid
huge.
fire, detail-driven thinking, mix of intellect and patience and humor.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
all the things.
Second, Liz Lemon from 30 Rock.
I'm kind of jealous.
I mean, it's pretty great because also I feel like, and I've said this to Tina Fey when I've met her, I feel like that character is very much what my job here is.
Yeah.
She had to manage,
You're right. You're not wrong.
those people,
Yep.
and it's kind of similar there. I like that. It says, I'm like Liz Lemon if she had tighter command of the room and less chaos. I don't know if that's true, but it's nice of it to say it. And then finally, and this one is disturbingly accurate. It's not a compliment, I don't think. Peter Baelish, Lord Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, which is...
Oh.
Yeah. I think it might be a little bit accurate
Oh, my
there.
gosh.
You're comfortable playing a longer game, always thinking about positioning and leverage. Conversations are rarely just conversations. They're information gathering and angle finding.
They were soft walking you to that.
Yeah.
Because that might be,
Yeah, he's a bad person. But yes,
like I said, they were soft walking.
yeah. All right.
That was fun.
That was fun. I enjoyed that too. Sonny did it also and got
Who'd you get?
Miranda Priestley from Devil Wears Prada, which I think was
Might
exactly
be the
who
little
she wanted.
finger. Yeah.
Yeah, could be. All right.
Which is why I'm celebrating Leslie Knope over
Yes.
here.
There you go, as you should. All right. So you were on vacation last week with the whole family.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, I love, I always tell Max, I literally got married and had kids to go on vacation because my most vivid memories of being part of my family, a Haines, was the holidays. And when I say vacations, it could be to grandma's. It was
Right.
just being together on a vacation.
It's really special.
It's so special. And it's honestly, obviously, the many days in between you don't remember. All our pictures when you had real cameras were of those moments. All the memories, the flashbulb moments, they were all in those special times. So I just love, it's not about seeing the world. It's more like Vacation Sarah is a better Sarah. That's why I like
I've heard about Vacation Sarah.
Vacation Sarah is not right now. Don't worry. We were sleeping with kids this time. But it was, I love the ocean. My dream was to become a marine biologist. As
Like
I told
George
you.
Costanza?
Yep, like George
Yes.
Costanza. So I always loved the snorkeling, the kayaking, the stand-up paddleboarding, you name it. And this place was just full of that. So, and I found out, I also felt when I married my husband, Max, on our honeymoon, I remember there was this, we were in Puerto Rico at this resort and they had, what are those things called you jump on in the water? It's called when it's like a play jungle, like air blown up. Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
can picture it, but I don't know the name of
Quibbit
it.
or something.
I'll take your word for
I
it.
only know it because the kids had one at camp. But whatever it is, I remember looking at it and I literally turned to my husband on our honeymoon and was like, I really wish my brother was here.
Wow.
Because all I could think of is,
Top 10 things you don't want to hear on your honeymoon.
well, and you know what? It tracked because my first date also involved my brother. But when I was there, I thought of my best playmate growing up was my brother because he was 14 months younger and we did everything like that together. And when I was on this vacation, I realized, for all those years of missing Joe, because Max is not as much like that, I literally birthed 3 more of me in regards to they want to do all those things.
Yes.
So I have 3 playmates. So Max can be lazy man on the beach, and these kids will dive into anything with me.
Now, I feel the same way about my kids and just, I get to go to Disney with my kids and run around and be a 12-year-old with them. And it's a lot of fun. It
Yeah,
really
it's
is.
the best.
Yeah, it's my favorite. But you had a great time.
Oh, the best time. And again, that is not to sugarcoat. If Max was listening, he'd be like, well, what about this? And what about... It's tense, too, because I think when you have 3 kids and you're out of your routine and you're trying to do all the things, there's tense moments, too. So there were definitely some tears by mama, not the kids. But overall, it was beautiful. And it was quality time. And I came back actually a little like... how am I going to recover? And then I felt so rejuvenated and hopeful. Like coming back to work, the recharge you need was there. And
That's great. We're always running on fumes right before we get to this break in particular, I feel like.
because it's a long stretch.
It's a long stretch from January to
Yes.
now. And then we got another long stretch to the end of the season.
Well, and
But-
usually holidays are home, so it's almost like August to there. Is for me is not. There's not a lot of travel.
No, absolutely. So Alyssa is back. That's part of the coming back from the break. One of the things I was most excited about.
Yeah.
What do you remember? I mean, you've done this. You've gone away and come back. What do you
Yeah.
remember about coming back with that with kids?
So Alyssa is doing it so beautifully and gracefully. Honestly, she really is, and the whole experience of having Justin Jr. It's all been. I witnessed it at her home. I see it in her face. It's beautiful. I wanted to come back to work because I struggled at home.
I know.
The chaos, like the way I operate in structure. I try to avoid chaos. Well, that's having kids. So having young babies and breastfeeding, and I think the push and pull of it all was I was always struggling to adapt to this new version I couldn't control, and so I always struggled and needed work to be my normal. So I came back, but I still recognized there was a struggle. So even though the work was lovely and seeing all your friends, it was the sense of normalcy. It was the sense of competence I had at work that I didn't feel at home. It was the social outlet, the remembering who I was before I had kids because I couldn't quite reconcile this new world. And
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's different. I've seen a lot of comments about like, well, Alyssa came back so fast, and it was entirely up to her.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it's what she thought she wanted beforehand. And when she told me that, and I said, all right, we'll wait and see. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good plan, but see how you feel, because I don't think anybody knows what it's going to be like.
you don't.
But she was very much throughout this.
Yeah.
This is when I want to be back. This is what I want to do. And it is a good schedule for a new mom as
Absolutely.
far as work goes, I think. But one thing she did talk to us about is kind of her traumatic birth story a little bit.
Yeah.
I was surprised to hear that. I didn't know, obviously. Did you have anything like that?
No, it's funny how like you tell people about the parts you experienced, and in 3 pregnancies and births, I didn't really have anything traumatic.
Right. Which is probably why you had 3.
Yeah, well, and the closest thing though, and I guess I don't tell this story enough. You know how we always talk about how big he was?
Yeah.
Like he was much bigger than the other babies. He's a bigger kid in general. One thing that did happen that I don't think I always remember, but now when I look back at pictures, I'm like, whoa. When he came out, his umbilical cord was a pretzel.
Oh.
And the doctor said, this is good luck. And I was like, oh, why? And he's like, well, because if he had been a smaller baby, he could have turned,
Oh.
and that would have strangled off his blood supply.
Right, and then you would have had to do something. Yeah.
And then he probably wouldn't have survived.
Oh, God
so they
forbid.
said it's so funny how you look back at life, and we laugh all the time about his size, but the doctor was like his size was his gift.
Yeah.
And it's so other than that kind of moment, but the baby's already out and
Right.
you now know you're okay. I'm so lucky because when I hear other people and their stories, you remember that people always say to women, we've done this for 1,000 years. Well, guess what the mortality rate was for
Right.
all those 1,000 years? A lot of women
No,
have
there's a lot
died
of
since
things
the
that can
beginning
go
of
wrong.
time. Having babies.
Yeah.
So thank God for medical advancements and the teams that help us because she was okay. But Alyssa's story was very crazy and scary.
No, absolutely. I'm so glad she's okay, and the baby was perfect. And
Oh,
it all
he's
worked
so
out.
cute.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him. All right, so we did this story with Joy yesterday, and I'm wondering how you feel about it.
Okay.
A woman wrote in an article in The Atlantic. It was called In Praise of Difficult Kids.
Yeah.
And basically, she's saying that she's noticed many of the adults that we admire today were not easy kids, and sometimes they were irritating to their teachers, they questioning a lot
Yeah.
and pushing back. And maybe questioning a teacher isn't always bad, but I know you've been dealing with something kind of like this with Alec.
Yeah. So it's funny because the way they describe it, and I can see why Joy likes the story. Joy herself was the pushback queen in school.
Yes.
And they talk specifically, I think, in this article more about school and how they, whether they put their heads down and follow the rules. My kids are great in school. But Alec, the thing I run into is as a parent emotionally, it's really hard to figure out how to teach him how to handle his anger.
Yeah.
And so we struggle the most at home, and we always say we're first-time parents with him.
Right.
So every age he hits, it's our first time there. He's been this way since he was born, though. So sometimes when I talk about Justin Jr., I'm like, I can't imagine having a baby like this because Alec from birth was a disgruntled, like just kind of, and you look back at your kids and they were the same way.
Yeah, their
whole life.
personalities, them. Yeah.
Alec in the world and to teachers and to friends is lovely. And he's got such an empathic heart and he's a beautiful boy. But when he deals with an emotion, he can just rage to the point you're frustrated because you're the oldest. They're watching you. Sandra's watching you. Caleb's watching you. And Caleb will mimic a lot of the bad behavior, even though they're very different personalities.
Sure, no, it's
you'll
his
literally
brother. Yeah.
see a repeat of exactly what Alec did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you just doubled the impact with your example. But in talking to other parents and talking to teachers and talking to people about it, they're like, as hard as it is to parent kids like that, it often is a resilience in life because it's not easy to control. They question everything. They question your authority. Like the kids won't do it in school, thank God, but Alec brings it home to us. And every rule, every pushback, every argument. But there are times where they say that's an emotional intelligence. Like it's not right or it's not fair. And so I'm hoping that all pans out. I can't speak to this yet.
It's tricky because, you want your kids to have easy lives in the beginning. You want them to be happy all the time, but I wasn't as a kid and I got into trouble and I think it helped me. I think I definitely grew from it and I think I definitely learned things from it. So you can't hold too tight. I think that's definitely part of it. And, I think it's growing up. And I just think that figuring out how to do these things is important. It
really could be all those things. And I trust the minds and the parents and the people that have come before me. But what's funny is when you look at this article I'm not saying I'm the success story, but I was a head down, rule following. I loved the thinking and the, questioning what we were learning.
Right.
But I didn't question authority or teachers. I followed rules. I wanted to come home with the A. I wanted my parents to be
That's
proud.
Great, though. I mean,
it is, but I mean, I also had that same behavior at home, though. So
right.
I revered my parents. So sometimes when I see it break for Alec, where he's not as
was Max the same kind of kid you were?
No, Max had a bit of a broken home. He had, his parents were divorced when he was like 3. They were both immigrants, so their life and livelihood was challenged being separated. He was definitely someone who found his family in his friend group that we're all still very close with.
Right.
But he sometimes wonders how different his life would have been if he had had structure and someone that held him in line. Because he was like, smoking pot in high school and like not showing up at classes. We were literally the antithesis of each other. And he wishes it was different for him. So it's hard to tell. He wasn't questioning authority in a brilliant way that made him a genius. He just wasn't showing up.
Now, do you blame him for when Alec has a problem at school? Or
No,
we
blame Mama's big emotions for why Alec struggles with big emotions.
That's fair.
Because they also say the best way to teach a kid how to regulate emotions is to regulate your own.
I get blamed for everything because Heather was perfect and still is, of course.
Well, Heather
to this
is
day.
perfect. I've met her.
Of course.
But I also think Max isn't wrong here in the sense that I do try to have hearts because I know I'm messing my kids up, as every parent does. And I say to Alec, sweetie, like this is hard when we tell you these things. It's not for you to fall in line. We're trying to ease the discomfort of what you're feeling because I am 48. And I still struggle with what you're struggling with now. So let's try to fix that before you're 48. So I can't really live a good example when I fly off the handle and when I get overwhelmed. And so it is tricky because I sometimes wish I was a Zen Buddha as a parent and I'm not.
All right. Well, something to work on.
Yes.
There we go. Well,
More yoga for everyone.
That's all the time we have for this session today. But
I'm not going to charge you because there wasn't a couch, merely a chair. We're
fair
fine.
enough. Thank you for joining me today,
Thank you,
Sarah.
Brian.
As I've mentioned every day, we're in the final days of the Webby voting. This is very important.
This is important because it's Joy's episode.
Joy's episode, so Joy Boys Unite, come out, and please vote for us. We have, if you haven't voted already, you can only do it once, but if you have multiple email addresses, you can do it more than once. Not that I've done that.
Game the system is what he's saying.
As Peter Baelish would.
Yeah.
So it's listed at the top of the description here. Please vote for us. And then tomorrow I'll be back with the one, the only, Anna Navarro. We'll see you then.